Sup, everyone? Um, my stream was about an hour later than usual. Reason is why I just woke up from a nap. Yeah, so that's the reason why I was on an hour later than I usually do. We have at least this person is here.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Just woken up from a nap.
Yeah, I just felt busy today, so I uploaded 3 videos on my channel, and the third one got a lot of views.
Hmm.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
is the
my,
most
huh?
What is the most views you have ever had on one of your videos?
I believe one of them got like over 100 views. It was a good video. It was not about drama. It was actually a good video that I did.
Well, not start. That's not a bad start for the videos. I mean, oh, hey, brother Weaver.
Sup?
Hello.
um, I mean, I do usually have a lot of the some of my earlier MLP stores I did, like Fluttershy Discord has around, I think maybe it's 50 or 60,000 views. Oh, yeah, Werewolf or Malachite. But the most views of all I had of all of my videos together, it has around 700,000 views.
Dang.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
you're
was not even.
lucky.
Yeah, I never even imagined. And even the video is even that long. It's not even like 10 minutes long. It's like I believe it's around 8 9 minutes. You would think.
8 or 9 minutes? Dang,
Yeah,
you're lucky, man.
yeah. And even I was not the. And it's not that one of
You are
my
so lucky, man. You're like the
yeah. And
luckiest guy ever.
well, it's not one of my true love stories, but still, it just happened. But I mean,
So that's
considering
how
it,
your channel became what it used to be.
you can
That's how
say
your
that.
channel became what it is.
Well, you can say that much. Um, I mean, considering
What did
those,
you do?
I didn't do anything.
Whoops.
But I can say that most of the videos that I've seen on YouTube that like PewDiePie or those musical videos from, let's say, Michael Jackson or and or Kiss. Those music videos can have um like say well, sort of Michael Jackson, like say Thriller or um I think it may like Trailer or um what was it, the name again of that video? Never mind. But any of those videos about Michael Jackson, for example, like the trailer, they can have from 10, maybe as almost, I don't know, at least a few 100 million views, and that is more understandable, for since those people are really famous. I mean, my channel, if you probably walk around on the streets, ask you if you know him, no. They probably ask what kind of contents I do. I mean, considering from others, let's say, yeah, like PewDiePie, he makes videos where he focus on like games and some others, and there are other people that are making, um, well, they are focused on reviewing games or movies. Of course, it there's like that, and like PewDiePie, it took him quite a while before people did notice his channel. That is understandable for anyone. I mean, from my channel when I first started mine, it was like back in 2008, and then it took me just 1 year until I actually had to put my first video. And that was just only like a test video. But even if you guys want to watch it, you can. But it is not in English. The text is actually in my own language. That was way before even I was making any plans. And when I first started doing my last stories around 2015, I had about 50 subscribers. And now, nearly almost 8 years later, I have around 8,200 almost. Just imagine that. And even though I was not even planning on doing these love stories as a long term, I was only doing a number of stories and then move on for next. But I haven't. I was never imagining that people would actually love my stories that well. They
I
were
mean,
even it's
granted, I was an MLP fan for a while. I just chose not to admit it because I wasn't sure if anyone would ever laugh at me. But when I came across your stories, to be honest, the first two I watched were well, obviously your Gallus and Silverstream story, which was magnificent. I will give you that one. And
Mhm.
my favorite shipping was Soren and Rainbow Dash. I wish the show showed all of them getting married to like friends of theirs, but I
Yeah,
was not expecting
exactly.
the Apple Dash shipping. I really
Oh
wanted to
yeah.
see Rainbow and
Even though
I really wanted to see Rainbow and Soren get married. That was wonderful shipping. Plus, it was a
yeah,
popular one going around at the time.
yeah. I mean, even though they were at the time among my first stories that I did put out, there were people that pointed at sort of the grammar was terrible. Eh, I admit, I actually don't. I don't take it on. I take the blame for a good reason. Because in early stories, I was using Google Translator because my speaking in language was decent enough, but typing or writing by hand or in a computer like or on Discord, for example, it was like non-existent. It took me time, and I'm still using Google Translator from time to time, but only to certain words when I even my stories. Like say, let's say if I would use unconscious, for example, I can speak the word, but I don't remember how to spell the word. So that's why I'm sometimes using Google Translate to certain words in that. And that's more understandable. I mean, since for one reason, since English is not my native language, so that's understandable. Like say Bond Dreamer, where he's from. He's from Indonesia, and English is not his native language. And it is understandable for people to understand that he could have probably learned English by watching a lot of shows on TV or talk to people that or maybe learned in school. Even if it's like that. I never learned any much for English songs myself, but from movies, TV shows, and even music. That was my way to learn the language. And when I first started my stories, I was, like I said, I wasn't intentionally to make it a long run. I was only to do the main six and even some background characters. And even for myself, I was never even admitted myself to be a brony. And hey, my family doesn't even know this. And
Mm.
I'm not ashamed to tell them that I'm a brony because I'm not ashamed at all. It just, I mean, I had probably made a hint that I could have been watched Job since my older niece, she is a fan of My Little Pony.
Mm.
Yeah, she is about 12, 13 at the time right now. So she likes it. She has seen the show, and she has a lot of I think at least a few of the figurines
Mm.
and even a Twilight plushie.
Um, I mean, I wasn't. I'm not ashamed to admit I am an MLP fan, but I was also, a fan. I there were other kid shows that I enjoyed growing up. Thomas and Friends. I was a big fan of that one ever since I was two. Um, and
Yeah, no, no, that's
they
understandable.
evolved massively. Theo Tugboat was another favorite of mine, um, as well as Bob the Builder. But I wasn't really much. But I was only into the talking machines, because
Mm,
it's
that's
weird.
understandable.
Because they have Sesame Street going around. Those are Muppets and big old puppets going on
Mm,
talking. That's
that's true.
cool,
Yeah,
but
I mean, the Sesame Street has been around for a part of like 50 years right now. And that's true. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, I loved to watch like Tom and Friends, the original Cheers series they made before there was the new ones.
I just
And
wish more of the characters got more
yeah,
of the new characters that came out got more roles in
yeah. I
stuff.
mean, I even watched a lot of other different shows. Like, I mean, I even watched the Batman anime series from the 90s, and even watched the Superman anime series. And I mean, I even saw Justice League when it first came out, the first silver part of the series. And but as a real young age, I love to watch the Smurfs, the blue small people in the forest. I mean, the original show from the late 80s and 90s. That was like not that bad show. It was actually that was even way better than the live action one they made back years later. The original series was even way better. I admit that. And
Mhm.
in the Sonic, not Sonic Boom was on Sonic X. That was came years later. But the original Sonic CDM were in not whole firefighter, the field fighters, and Adventure to Sonic. Those were also really something I really love to watch. I mean, I could be sitting at the TV screen at the couch every single morning watching those shows. It was just amazing. And who can't but forget Scooby Doo? I mean,
Oh yes, scram, you snake!
that one, Scooby Doo meets the Boo Brothers from 1987. That is my favorite of all the movies. And I
Precisely
mean,
why I said that line.
yeah, and okay, the first live action movie when they came to Spooky Island. Oh man, that was terrible
Hey,
trash
I
movie.
it
I
was
didn't like
I
it.
mean it was
I didn't like it. I mean,
hey
making Scrappy the next new main villain.
well
Come on.
I mean
How
I
would you react? How would you even react? But how would you even think
well
of
bye
how?
Boney Jr.
Oh, right. But how would you even react? How would you even
Well
imagine all those
to
fans
be
that's
honest,
been
can I
growing
tell
up
you
with
something?
Sonic? Yep.
Well, first off, I knew of the Scooby Doo show and the Scooby Doo Where Are You cartoons. I didn't know about the new Scooby Doo movies until my mom introduced me to B98.TV, where you can watch
Hmm.
the cartoons. Um, but when I first watched the first live action of Scooby Doo, I watched was Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, and that was a pretty good one. Um,
Is it that one when the two skeletons and where Sonic
Captain
scrap
Color, Minor 49ers, Zombie, and Tar Monster come to life? Yes.
and isn't that also the scene where Scooby became suddenly smart and Shaggy
Look
be
like
like
an Albert Einstein turned into a Tasmanian
oh yeah,
devil.
that yeah, okay, that scene is hilarious, but the movie itself, I would say that much. But
I'm a,
the,
I'm a Tasmanian devil.
yeah, but also the scene. I mean, even making Scrappy as the main villain in the first live action movie they made of
well,
Scooby Doo. I
well,
mean, I can understand that they have a whole new approach. Okay, that for sure. But at the same time, it's really ruining the franchise for. I mean, think about it. Since the first show of Scooby Doo came out in 1969, and that was the original. I think that those people that
uh,
generation grew up watching that Scooby Doo and the later ones that came out, and their children or grandchildren could have been watching Scooby Doo, and they're saying that seeing how Scrappy was from their parents or grandparents' childhood. How Scrappy has always been this fearless nephew of Scooby, and now turned out to be a main villain in at least one of the movies. How do you just only imagine the reaction to see the parents? Like, say, if your mom was a big fan of Scooby Doo when she was, even though that's the original series, it was released, and just imagine her reaction seeing Scooby Doo's nephew, the new main villain in
Um,
the new movie. I'm not
for
just only wondering, like, how in the world they even made that happen. I don't know.
well, to be honest, the rest of the movie was pretty good when I first watched it. I mean, the game splitting up, them reuniting to Spooky Island and such, and trying to solve up this mystery. The rest of the
Yeah,
show,
okay, yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite
but
part
again,
was Scooby and
yeah, I mean,
Shaggy trying to
yeah, I
get
can give
Billy.
some of the. I mean, even though I didn't like the entire movie itself, but I will give this that some of the scenes were funny. That's concerned, like when Shaggy and Scooby having their burp or fart contest against each other. That one
And then
is
and then
priceless. I mean,
and then a couple minutes later, when the bad guys and villains go out, Shaggy goes, "Oh no!" And then he farts on the suit of armor with Velma right next to him.
oh yeah. I mean,
Um,
considering that the Scooby Doo has been a great influence all of the for what for the past. I mean, since the show has um been around since the original series, since 54 years, give or take, and just seeing how the original Scooby Doo and the later ones that came out, just seeing how much affected children. I mean, a lot of kids love Scooby Doo. I mean,
but um, two things. One of my favorite scenes of Spooky Island, the Spooky Island one, was the ATV shed scene where Shaggy and Scooby were trying to avoid their friend and the others that had the monsters inside them, and they were taking cover in the shed, and the Scooby reveals the two ATVs, and they get on them in a void jump and jump through the door, avoiding hitting the others.
yeah, and about that, I don't even remember if they actually mentioned where those monster creatures were originally from. I mean, if there were demons or if there were a navy to that just that
I
island alone. I
Well,
don't
I
remember.
always thought you know in the scene where they cut from the plane to the water, then showing the island itself. I always thought that big spooky jack o' lantern pumpkin mountain was where they lived inside, because that's the most likely place for a ritual like what happened in the movie to take place. I always thought that
Yet
big
it's
jack o' lantern mountain was where they lived.
it's possible that those monsters may have been some sort of like this lantern could have been maybe a portal to another dimension or something like that. But I can say for certain they never, and even though they couldn't explain a little bit more like how did this even came out and being, they maybe were a plan to do that when they were doing the movie, but they maybe not even had a budget to add that into the movie. Sometimes it happens when they have made some scenes in a movie, but they realize they don't have the budget enough, or they don't have the budget to make to add all those scenes in a movie, and they had to cut some off and put them in some deleted scenes afterwards. Maybe they could not be like that, but I don't know. It's like I said, this is actually is very much happens all the time when they makes a movie, like even if it's a live action or an anime or like those old ones, like say Snow White, like that type of movies. There's always a scene in a movie where they always cutting out, like the Lady and Tramp original movie. There were this one scene where this the bloodhound that was a friend to Lady hit by a truck, and he was originally supposed to die in that movie. But when Walt Disney saw that happen, he was not happy with the outcome of this part of the movies. This is supposed to be a kid movie, so he had them to change that so he survived. The same thing is, and then for every movie, like when it comes to big
And
movies like
I was
Scooby
actually
Doo,
proud when Trusty was walking again on his leg
yeah,
at the end of that movie.
yeah,
That was okay. That was pretty good though.
yeah. But I can understand that Walt Disney he didn't like the idea of one of one of the not one of those background characters or smaller minor characters had been killed off like that. It's like when Bambi first movie came out. That even though they never showed that act when Bambi's mother was killed by the hunter, even though we only hearing the gunshot in the distance. That's probably is the closest thing as um, we can actually came as depth within the movie. And did you know that in Disneyland in Florida, there is a house there is supposed to be a lantern or lamp that is turned on. But the thing is, none of the staff are turning that on. It's not part of this as any decoration. According to some of the urban legend, it's actually Walt Disney. And I also find out that Walt Disney, shortly before his death in 1960s, he was buying a lot of properties around in Florida. He is want to build city of Epcot, Epcom, city of tomorrow, like inspired to have the center of that town to be in light industry and other to be in, and each part will be separated by a green scenery like in a circle, and next will be like office buildings, another one could contain homes, actual homes, the people, and this would not be in a tourist town. Like this was going to be an actual city, and based on my look on this from above, but having those like a circle with one that's a center of to be industry, office buildings, and additional homes. It actually was probably more likely inspired by the lost city of Atlantis. That is how it is the based on Plato made in his story that the city had was made of three circled features, and each seal of the circle had a canal between. I don't know, but unfortunately, since Walt Disney died, so the city was never much built. Well, and not it was built, but it was not much. It's built after his vision. Sadly, that happens.
But I actually one of my favorite videos of Walt Disney was his All About Magic video, and it starts off with him putting a pencil on the palm of his hand and making the end with the lid on it just rise up a bit, and he
Hmm.
goes, "It's just a trick." But to us, the pencil really is the magic wand, and he ain't wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Um,
Not to call it the Dark Cloud, but call it Dragon. Yeah, but it's kind of like in
but
but this like the are some rumors saying that Walt Disney is actually in some sort of suspended animation, frozen in Disneyland, waiting one day to be brought back to life again. But I can't see that if there's rumors is real or not. But yet I'm saying is even if that's true, how did they in the world that even came out in the first place? I don't know. I can say this: if they've been from the late 70s or 80s, and if you were frozen down like in a tube, like in a metallic tube or something like that, and if you were to be brought back to life, yeah, it is very unlikely that would happen because if you were being brought up from that, you were being frozen in like in liquid nitrogen, and if anyone would carry you out from those tanks, and if something would happen, if your arm or your hand being hit a parallel part of a metal surface and your hand being smashed to pieces, yeah, the hand will be completely gone. Completely. That happens. Oh, this is one person we haven't even here for a while. Tornado Chaser, or as we call him, Stormy.
Hey, Swedish.
What have you been up to?
Nothing.
Oh wow, that's a cool skull.
I wore it for Halloween.
Yeah, we have just haven't even been doing much. We have just been talking different topics about Scooby Doo, what we thought about the movies and all that stuff.
Yeah. Reason I wore this reason being that I had to scare kids. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Dude,
Uh-oh.
What is wrong with your audio
Scenario.
right now?
That's bad. That's bad. Fucking microphones, dude. What's happening now?
not much actually. We have just been
Freaking
just
Mike
been
is
talking
being
about-
very indecisive right now. That's what's going on.
Yeah, we have just been talking about random stuff actually. So there's not much. Storm is here.
I think we're good now. All right.
So how's the play to dance place? Is it bored?
Well, we just got here, so can't exactly say yet.
Dude,
I know this freaking Mike is being very, very upset with me right now. I don't think he said due to us. Did ya? Aw, it's A&W.
Oh yeah, I drank that. It was good.
what is that even though?
The
Root beer.
exterminators.
I mean, what is it? Is it soda,
Cena.
beer?
John
It's
Cena.
root beer. It's a soda pop.
Huh? I never had root beer before.
Gordon, is it Gordon Ramsay? Or is it Red Bull?
Red Bull is one thing I have tried, but not a big fan of it actually. Oh, here's one. A comment. Gerardo or wait a minute.
Maybe it's Corrado.
Dang.
Yeah, but that's not that.
Before you get any ideas, it's not me.
No. But I have seen the picture of there's actually an anime movie. I saw it earlier today actually of as like a review of the movie, but I don't remember the name of it to be honest. So what else happening here?
I have a powerlifting meet in the next couple weeks.
Powerlift?
Bench press.
Ah, gotcha.
Is quiet.
Just like your horrible farts. Thanks, Roy. No problem.
I'll be peace.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really done myself much today, except I was just took a walk for a dog with my mom. After that, being at the computer for several hours. Before I even came down here, I was just sleeping, literally sleeping. It took maybe an hour earlier, later than usually do my streams. Are those that's Beyblade you did win or buy?
Don't.
The next Beyblade tournament is 14. Next week. Yeah, I haven't really looked done much other than that
Yes, you
since.
should be good.
The only thing I can say I have been working a lot on the next space
Oh.
questions, and so far it is about just
Even though I
19
still
left.
have that space quiz, and uh, and well, the questions are ready.
Mm.
Yeah, I can say this. Like the first space question we have. How many of those were? How many of those were on there with the C answer? With the game guy, they win a lot of. So this time I decided to make sure it's not much C question at all. Start a B, D, A, less about the number Z. Um, but it's a lot of questions like that involves a few about years question. Um, there are some very hard questions that I can say differently about, and there is even the most of the questions is about sizes of different objects or like that. I'm not saying exactly which what.
Hey, Swedish.
Hmm?
I'm looking at this, and it says in about 1 year and 9 months, you're gonna hit 10,000 subscribers.
What? What do you mean?
Well, I'm looking at this Social Blade, and it says you're gonna hit 10,000 in about 1 year and 9 months.
Hmm. Well, I mean, almost so close to about 8,200, so it could easily been hit faster than that. Who knows?
Jesus, Swedish.
I mean, it is possible. I mean, okay, I can give you one example. When I first started my channel in 2008, I had no subscribers. And even if I put my first video, I didn't have any single subscribers whatsoever. Back in the same time when I first started my Lot Stories, around 2015, I only have 50 subscribers. So it just gives you time. It takes time for even to reach this. And of course, and like I told Malachi that um, it had when you're making videos, it had to be focused on the specific target with audience. Like PewDiePie, which he's been focused on gaming, and he's one of the biggest channels there is. I think it's over 200 or even 500 million subscribers. And one of my own small videos that not even 10 minutes, well, I think it was around 7 9, has 700,000 views. And that's the only video of all. The rest has not even close to even 100,000. So that makes no sense otherwise. And people are probably doing videos or their contents for to be famous. But me, not at all. I'm only doing it because entertainment. And also then that I feel bored otherwise if I don't have nothing to do. Has anyone ever heard of the actor Jeremy Renner? Nope, never heard of him.
No, I haven't.
Yo.
What the heck?
Okay, that's your. Okay, I'm looking at your most popular videos right now. Let's. I feel like some of these are kind of strange that being your most popular.
Well, I mean, I know that some of my other, like some of the love stories, like say Fluttershy and Discord. I believe it
Okay,
has
that one I
around.
expected.
Yeah, it has. I think it's the last time I checked, it has about 50 or 90,000 views. Some others are around between 10 and 20 and 30,000. And okay, that was more one of my first stories. And it was one of my earliest stories, and they had the most views. And the current stories that I have been made for the past few months or past year or so, none of them even had even close to 8. I think at the most of them they have only a few hundred views. Only one. Only one that so far is has around 1,000 views in all this story. Huh. Here's another person that's made a comment. Aiden Allosaurus. I don't think I've seen this person in one of the comments before.
It seems as
What?
if Gerardo, or however you pronounce it, seems he's from
No.
Argentina.
Well, this one is Aiden Allosaurus.
Well, I'm referring to the other guy, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest though, I have a lot of people show up in the comments all the time, so I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind that people show up to make show up to talk with us, or just simply just being there, see what his stream is about. And to be honest, you guys have probably came across my channel by those recommendations by YouTube. My girlfriend, she came across she went on this on YouTube and had a list of different videos that they were recommended. One of those were one of mine, and she doesn't even remember exactly which one. I don't. I never
Aha!
bother ask. And that's probably how most of my people, or my fans, viewers, across my channel in the first place. I mean, I'm probably not one of those bigger ones within a Brownie fandom, like Dr. Wolf, Silver Quill, Firebrand. Ooh. Have you guys heard of Firebrand, Funny Indians? Well,
No.
have you guys ever heard of Josh Scorcher or Commander Firebrand?
Nope.
Oh boy, he is a great YouTuber and within a running fandom. He actually got married about a year ago, and they actually he and his wife posted a video about maybe a week ago. They're expecting the first baby within the next couple of months. She was only at the time, but she was only 7 weeks along. Well, let's say when they mentioned to some of their friends, like they were happy about it, but they mentioned something else. One of their friends named Finn the Pony, which is a great YouTuber. He was like, what did she said that they were expecting twins, and it's like, Papa baby. And the other thing is, according to the enlist in from Adamaus, which is the wife's pony name, in her family there's no twins at all. In your Scorcher or Firebrand's family, there are no twins at all. Just imagine to see her family's reaction, like they were expecting the first baby, but they're twins, and especially Adam's brother, who was in a car driving. I believe he was in a drive-through, and he was like, "Wait, what? What?" All the time. I mean, can you even imagine that happen? I mean, just imagine one day when Stormy, when he's older, that he is gonna have a kid sort of his own, and then he tell his family, or if like, or if when I'm gonna tell my parents that me and my girlfriend are expecting our first baby within well, they were not being that oh great, crazy happy. When my sister told that she expecting her first baby, that I was like, okay, that's it.
No, no biggie, no biggie.
Yeah, exactly. That was a big deal. I mean, if she were to have another kid right now, that they were like another one. I tell you this right now, she has five total. So there is no way for her to have any more kids, and she doesn't even want to have any more. Because the thing is, if you did have more, she would not be fitting that in the apartment where she lives. She only have 3 bedrooms total. She moved out from her own bedroom so that her 2 younger ones can have that one, and the older one has her own because she can't be in share a room with her two younger siblings. Not the 2 youngest ones, but those other two younger than her. She's 12, and the others are 7 to 9, and none of those work with her whatsoever. They will fight constantly. I'll tell you this. It happens more than you know. Sometimes I mean, wonder they're fighting exactly if they have fire in their ass. Oh, jeez. Like I know, me and my girlfriend, we have talked about having 4 kids, but not all at the same time. Oh boy. Just to be telling this, in my family there is no twins, but my mom once expected triplets once. So if that happened once, there is always a chance that it could happen again. Oh boy. Hey Roy, how would you feel? How would you imagine if you meet a new girl and you and your future wife and that you two are expecting your first baby, and they're like you later learn that there's not just one, but if there's twins or triplets, how will you react?
Well, that'd be ecstatic, you know. That's miracle in verse, you know.
Yeah. Game guy, how would you react if you and Crystal expecting your first baby and she later tells you?
Uh,
I mean, if you're okay, if you do,
well,
even if, I mean, if you two were planning to at least have maybe just one or two, but what if like a by mysterious way they happen to have twins or even triplets at once?
I
Don't know.
I can't answer that right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, but I can only imagine that your reaction if she tells you, uh, you are and you like okay. If you show you telling like but showing this the pregnancy test, like you will probably be excited to be a father, but when she tells you that she has already been to the hospital for a doctor just been confirming, but sometimes pregnancy tests they can't be. There are those that is like say maybe I think either 80 or 90% accurate, but they're always 10 or 20%, depending on the which brand there is, there's a false lead. And if you go to a hospital or a clinic, they can always have a better, more accurate battery to quit. And if she tells her that she's expecting that she is confirmed that she's pregnant, but when she later tells you later on that she is
Um,
and that she's expecting quadruplets,
British.
like meaning 4 babies. I would like I can only imagine like if she's still standing in front of you, telling you that you're expecting that she's expecting 4 babies, and you're probably like either freaking out
British.
or fight out or pass out. Yep.
I gotta tell you something. I gotta tell you it privately.
Ooh. Yeah.
Have
Well, Stormy,
yourself.
I can say this. It's a good chance that you could been a dad around maybe 19 or 20 or even in your mid 20s. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's like even you like have it right now. Oh, I'm not gonna be a dad until like I'm like 25 or 30. But it sometimes life has works in a serious way. I'm just saying. It's like a one that I've been telling this story before. A young couple from Czech Republic, they were expecting their first baby. But as they went to ultrasounds along the pregnancy, they learned there was not one, not two, not three, not four. There was actually five.
Oh, are
Five
you talking about that
babies.
show?
No, this is an actual. This is actually in. I read this in an article online.
It's probably an Outdaughter. It's probably that show Outdaughter.
Well, I mean, this was in Europe though, not in America. But anyways, they were actually the very first couple in modern history in Czech Republic that's ever even had five babies.
Yep, that show.
Then 2 years ago, 2 years ago, there was this article stating a woman in Africa had 10 babies. Yeah, I would think that with a grain of salt, to be honest. I don't think 10 isn't even possible for even a human being to even have. Saying this is, I mean, it could be possible, but I'm saying, um, not real unlikely that happens like all the time. But just having like say if Game Guy for find out the crystal tells him that they're expecting four babies at the same time, I
Swedish.
can only imagine he's like passed out of the shock.
You might want to check your Discord.
Oh,
This were all right, understandable.
Yeah,
Ah,
it sucks, but it is the way
Yeah,
it
it
is.
happens, dude. It happens. I can mention one. This is actually didn't happen to me directly, but involves a good friend of mine, which I haven't really talked too much on lately. But she and her ex girlfriend lives both in England. Um, I don't. They don't even live any close by to each other. Um, all I can say is she dumped her after like 5 months, and this is like the third time to be together. Oh, jeez. Como, sorry, dude. You had to be the backstage.
Oh
You know what? I can always do this.
Hi.
no! Hi, Kopo.
ba-bum-bum.
How are
Yeah,
you guys?
so
Back the curtain.
no one actually knows what I
Go
sent
sky.
Swedish, but let's just say what I sent him doesn't work well with what Stormy put in the private chat. Jeez. Yeah, but you'll be fine. Anyway, so Koval, where were you?
I was training, I guess.
At least it wasn't during the game show.
Yeah.
That long A he just did there.
Yeah, Yes, I know. Thank you.
He asked Swedish, not you, unless your name is Swedish. I don't think it is.
What's up?
I mean,
Oh god. Shit, I forgot his name.
who?
The one that's right next to you.
Oh, him? That's Stormy.
Oh yeah, Stormy. Okay.
He's gonna
I forgot
pretend
his
like whatever
name.
happened in the past never even happened at all. Nope, not at all. Never happened. Nope. Mm-mm.
Doing.
Sorry, dude, but you're like so not often here that I was like, who's that?
Don't worry about it, Stormy. He forgets about my existence too, so.
I wouldn't say I forget about your existence. Anywho,
After that.
okay, hi, Jesus. Stormy, stop spamming.
I think he's trying to tell us that he's high.
No, he says hi, like hello.
There's 3 of me here.
There's who?
Yes, huh?
There's
I
what?
don't know why I did that. I probably should get rid of the other 2.
I thought you
I
were
don't know why I
gonna
did
say you're gonna get rid of the evidence.
Oh, hold on.
I guess Malachi's just in charge of the stream now.
Oh no.
Bye, Stormy. Oh, looks like Swedish can come back in.
Yeah, he can.
Kubo, you lady killer.
Wait, what? I do not, please, thank you.
So, Kubo, what you been up to?
Well, I just came back from training once again.
Well, okay. That means I am backstage and Stormy's back. Again.
Whoa.
A fate worse than being tickled by drill.
Well, I don't think anyone would want that. Well, I mean, you could always put like Malachi or Cody in the backstage since they're muted.
Sorry, I didn't know how to finish it.
Welcome to the madness you've joined, Stormy.
I know. I love madness.
Welcome to
Population
the
a
fire.
lot. Population a lot. It's too much to count. Maybe this D20 that we somehow have right next to us will tell us the answer.
You know what happened the last time I got mad?
Yeah,
Why
he
would you
turned
get
into
mad?
TikTok and almost ruined everything, like always.
Why
Guys,
would
just
you
fun
get
fact-
mad? The heck did I do?
I don't know.
The heck did we
Don't
do?
worry about it. I got a 17. So
The last time
think
I got
okay.
mad, I accidentally hurt somebody.
Oh.
That's what happened. So the reason
Well-
I do that, the reason I'm almost always like this, is because I don't like being mad at you. Nor do I like being mad at
You don't
anyone
even
else.
what? Oh,
Yeah, that's usually why. Because if I get mad, they'll usually doesn't end very well.
same for me, bro. I mean, heck, the last time I got mad, I almost broke someone's arm.
Well, Oh yeah, you have similar
And his neck.
aspirations.
Oh dear God, there's two of them.
He has similar aspirations.
You broke someone's arm, dude.
No, I
That's probably not the
almost.
that's, well. That's probably not
I
the
said I
worst thing I did. Well, let's say I grabbed someone's arm when I was like 10 or 11. By the sword, it started bleeding. That was the
Yeah.
worst one I did towards someone's arm. But yeah, so you're saying
Yeah. I mean, at the stage that I am now, I could just like I could make someone my puppet just by my techniques, technically. And that's not very wrong. I should not have said that. Anywho, anyway,
Hey, I believe it or not, I've actually almost become almost one of the more popular kids in school.
hey, another one of me.
Oh, see, he doesn't have.
I know you were just joking, but I get the feeling maybe you weren't.
What
Can
do
we
you
roll
mean?
the dice for truth? Roll it, see what you get. Let's see what double luck gets me. You got a 12. You got a dice. It's a dice. A dice!
You know I still have those pictures, right, Stormy?
Yeah, I'm just saying. For once, he didn't show it.
Well,
Hang on.
you
I
still
want
have
to roll,
mentioned
and
it.
then I want to see you roll. I want to see which one of us is luckier. Alright. I'll go
Ha!
first.
There you go. Oh, wait.
I got a 4. See what I get. You're gonna get a 3. Watch. I got a 4 too. What? You have the same luck apparently.
Solve Zany? Sure. Zany,
I
Zany,
think
Zany,
he's
Zany,
gonna
Zany.
steal your OC, Mister.
Hey, if he does, I don't know how to finish that. I get credited because he's a
You can
kid.
sue him.
You can't sue a kid.
No, you can't. I'm
Why did you
protected
just
by the law.
sound like Dylan for a second there?
What?
Where is Dylan? Is he back in the UK? I think he is.
Dylan
Actually,
is
he's
back
not
in the
yet.
army.
He's supposed to go back like the 10th, I think. Is it the 10th? I don't remember. He hasn't left
Hey, I'm
yet,
back.
so.
Hey, game guy, there's another one of me here. That means.
Uh-oh.
That means. It's
You know,
terrorist.
you know what, Cody? At this point, I'm so confused that I'm honestly just gonna say this.
Don't.
Using the power of technology.
All right, let's get chaotic in here.
Wait, what happened to Brony?
Well, he says let's get
Backstage.
chaotic in here. What do
He
you mean
got
by
sucked
that?
into a black hole. Wait,
Zany, what do you mean by let's get chaotic in here? What do you mean by that?
I'm pretty sure it's the 10th. It's the 10th. Pretty sure.
that Malachite Do you want me to tear you into pieces and take you into a steak?
I'm only messing with you. You, you chaotic puppy in need of a good trainer.
Yeah, well, don't do that.
Dylan, when is you're going back to the UK? Is it the 10th? I don't actually
Also,
know.
if it was us, that would be very wrong on Spike because he's one of my, of course, best friends. So if
Oh,
he did that,
okay.
yeah.
He simply says yes. All right, so yeah, this is 10th.
Well, to be fair, I was expecting that your brother was going back to the second.
Smackdown, boy. Adam, boy.
Well, he wasn't in the last. No, that must be why, because he was packing. I think.
Whoa.
Are we
Packing in
joining
heat.
him to the? Are we joining him to the airport, or is he going? Is he going on his own?
Whoa.
That's up to you. I kind of don't want to go.
Wow. Fishing your brother, and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, I don't want to go. You're on your own.
Well, I've got something else I need to do. So
Sleep.
you wouldn't understand.
No, I don't.
Uh,
Unlike Kubu.
He never does. Wait, what the heck?
well, I mean, Dylan also likes doing things on his own, so that might also be why. I'm just respecting his wishes. If he wants to go on his own, he wants to go on his own. I don't care.
Whoa. It sounds like you hate your brother.
I do not. I'm just saying
would
it's his
any brother
decision. If
hate
he wants
their
to go
brother?
on his own, then I'm going to let him.
Uh-oh. Stormy.
What?
Sounds like someone's going to make this worse.
What? not doing
Okay,
anything.
he's
I'll
going
ask him. Give
crazy
him a
right
second.
now.
Okay, what song should be?
Dylan, do you want me to come with you?
That was a diabolic laugh.
I've got a surprise.
I'll talk fast again.
Why do you have the
Here, go,
feeling
Dylan.
you're
Does this quick.
stealing something?
No, I'm not planning anything.
Dylan says,
What?
No, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
I'd rather go there on my own. Told you.
Uh-oh. It's got to get stormy in here.
What's that
All
supposed
right,
to
I'll
mean?
give you a hug before you go to the airport. Head to Dad's before you do.
Okay then. What the? Whoa. What is that supposed to be a song or something? Also, why did you say it twice?
Did he actually say it twice? Yeah, look at that.
Corner. No corners. I broke
You
the fourth
just
wall.
saw that?
In the corner of why and bother.
Swedish. I just broke the fourth wall, so there's no corner.
Wait,
There's no. Well,
Swedish, put us
Hey,
in
look
the
at the
middle and
fourth
put
mic.
Stormy in one of the corners.
That's it. You know what? I'm
Yeah, there we
praying
go.
to
He's literally in the corner, Nez.
this is the fourth wall.
Technically, that's the
hey,
that's the
I'm the
first
one who should be
wall.
breaking the fourth wall, mister.
There's no walls now. Thank you.
Also, you look like a
No,
Skeleton
no, put him in the
King.
backstage. That's the corner.
I put you in a corner.
Yeah, put you in the corner.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to figure out this right now.
Okay, I'm gonna be in timeout over here. Okay, just listen.
You're gonna be what?
I'm gonna be in this
Well,
timeout corner. I'm going.
tell me during those
Yeah,
things.
so Dylan wants to go on his own. All right.
Well,
Yo, I'm gonna eat this dude alive.
All right. Let's put cannibal in
No.
Stormy's list of attributes.
I heard it tastes great. Oh wait, I should say that I'm
Well,
not
like
cold right now.
attributes. Well, all right. Savage College.
Okay, I have a question. Have you guys ever heard of invading pythons in America?
Of
No.
what?
I've heard of Monty Python.
No, I mean actual pythons that has been invading America.
No.
Well, let's say southern Florida has daily basis. I think it's about 50 calls of our Bermuda pythons. There were one. I actually saw this on Monster Quest earlier today. There were one family actually had our Burman like literally they have a python from Burma or Bangladesh or something like that. It somehow gets released from its casement and went to their younger child's crib and strangled her to death.
What? What?
Yep. And the family, that snake was illegal. They don't have the license for that one. And they even had so far they estimate to have found some pythons that's from 5 to 20 feet long.
Wow.
And that's not the worst of it. According to this, based on this, they showed a map over the United States, and apparently, this pythons or any other tropical snakes that's either been released by the owner or escaped, they can somehow survive from from Florida all the way to the northern part of Washington State.
I eat people.
And
How was that for timing?
but that is not the part. That is not the worst part. Since the global temperature is rising, some expert had estimated that since that happened, the temperature rising means the zone or that temperate zone where snakes could survive is expanding further up north. Within by the end of the century, they estimate about by the end of the century, you can actually find boa or pythons in New York. But it could even that's what they believe now. But some of those snakes that could actually be further even way more than that. Is if its temperature even rising even more. It's possible that they could find pythons even in Michigan by the end by early or by the end of this century or the next one. That even this really was something else. There is cobras released in Florida.
Cobras?
Mm-hmm. Really actual cobra. And people have often been worried. What happens if a cobra and a python would actually meet up in nature and breed? I can say this yeah. People have been worried. What happens if a python or a boa encounters a cobra? if they were actually crossbreed. But
Would that
I
even
can give you one. But I can give you one hint. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't
Oh,
even work. Yeah, because
but aren't they
poisonous.
both snakes?
Well, since I mean, pythons are poisonous. Boa, no. They like anaconda. They strangle.
Oh, okay,
But
yeah.
yeah, but this about snakes actually had been a very much a big scare for Americans, even at the time of when they were settlers. There were one story they were on the monster quest about a python or at least a snake that was so big. It was so big as two floors house, and it was one. And this particular this particular python, it actually has teeth. It
Oh,
if it grabs you, okay. This teeth can actually be pulled backwards in its mouth like fishing hooks. And if
mm,
that will grab you by the arm, yeah, you're done. You're done for it because you won't. Even if you manage to get off the head from your arm, well, let's say you probably would have huge part of your arm ripped off. You probably
oh,
need you probably need stitches. Probably I don't know 20, 40, or worst case, can someone get me the bone saw? Cut off your arm. That worst case scenario.
mm,
And it seems that this monster, it has been for decades that some monster snakes in America, and Florida has around from the at least this particular pythons. They can be living in old abandoned buildings in the woods, and they crawl in. This particular pythons that has been found in Everglades National Park, and there is a resident areas very much close to it.
hmm.
And those pythons could have been from 10, maybe it's 20 feet long. They can literally be grow. They can literally crawling inside a family's home, strangle anything that you encounter. Your dog, your cat, even your parents, or even yourself. And they are not even scared of these pythons. They're not even scared at all. So just imagine a 20-foot long snake crawling upstairs. What do you do? Well, there's only one thing you can do: close the door and barricade it, or even grab maybe I don't know a freaking butcher knife and, or probably call the local wildlife because that is the best
Talking
option you can actually do, or the police because having
talking
a
about
snake. Yeah, Cody. Or shoot a snake with a shotgun, unless that you have it. Anything that's
don't
actually gonna work. I think even a baseball bat could actually work. I mean, you can even outrun a python. I mean, if you were on the street and see this python near by the edge of the street, by the end of the road, near on the side of the road, you can actually just either run backwards to see where you came, or run from it because they can't run. They can't even crawl that fast. I mean, just imagine like if there's snakes 20 feet long. What about other creatures? There has been reports of killer bees
A
in the United
bee!
States. This particular bee, I believe, is almost 2 or 3 times bigger than a normal bee.
Oh god, it sounds terrible.
And I believe there are even ways to. I think they're from I
You think
heard.
it sounds terrible? Imagine having allergic reactions to one.
I think also I heard that their poison is twice as dangerous as the wasp bees. They even not only have been attacking humans, but they also have been attacking local bees, taking out the competition, basically. Well, Brony, like I said, the civilians in Indonesia can't own their own firearm. Well, that's you. There is actually one loophole in when it comes to firearm. Bow and arrow, spears. That is a weapon you can actually own. I mean, a bow and arrow can't be. That is one and is actually is technically not even a firearm, but you can use that against a snake. I mean, a bow and arrow is basically is one of the oldest weapons in the world. But yeah, I mean, if you look, but just imagine if there is a snake 20 feet long, or as the world's records, even though this one is extinct, 42 feet long. So, what you have to say that if like if okay, if you want to go back to the most bigger animals that's ever existed, dinosaurs. The dinosaurs were the biggest freaking monsters on the planet. And if I ask this, if you were to encounter a sloth, would you be scared?
Probably not.
A sloth? Okay, you don't think what that is.
Well, of course I don't want to.
Okay, I mean, okay. If you remember from Zootopia,
Yeah, I know what a slot is. Thank you.
well, would you be even scared if you even encounter one?
Probably not, because we just sleep.
Okay. Game guy, Roy, would you guys be scared if you encounter a sloth?
No.
How about you feel if you encounter a 9 foot tall sloth?
Okay, now that I would be fucking terrified.
Well, since they actually have been giant sloths so that was between 9 and 10 feet tall, they actually have been.
Wow. Oh, by the way,
Yeah, but they were.
Chat.
Yeah, but they only lived in mostly in South America. They lived around. I believe they actually went extinct around. Ooh, what can it be? 10, 12,000 years ago, give or take, around by the end of the last ice age. They were actually among the biggest animals called megafauna, along with the mammoths, the the woolly rhino. There were actually a rhino that was completely covered with brown hair. But dire wolf, oh boy, that is one thing you really would not want to encounter. A dire wolf or giant wolf, 25% bigger than a gray wolf. That one is, well, it did actually live in Canada, United States. But unfortunately, it is extinct. It died out about 10,000 years ago. But there were even American lion. I'm not kidding. That
Yeah.
one also lived. That one did also live in the United States and in Canada. I believe that was even 25% larger than the African lion.
No, I wish I could have
But
got
also
one.
went, yeah, but unfortunately, it also went extinct.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
Oh,
different animals in Americas, like the short-faced bear or the Cape bear, also was supposed to be extinct around 12,000 years ago. Supposedly even way bigger than the grizzly bear.
hmm.
But they're one of the biggest creatures on the planet, um, which is Megalodon. Uh, Come on, Megalodon. Here we go. Megalodon size. They were estimated around 33.5 feet long. So almost 34 feet. That's a big shark.
Yeah.
But how about this? I mean, okay. I mean, imagine a shark that big still exists today. Would it
Imagine
be
encountering
terrifying?
one.
If we
Well,
count whales,
I mean, okay, okay. If the megalodon would still exist, it would have it would have wiped out the great white shark easily because megalodon is way bigger and they require, since due to the size, they require a certain amount of food every single day in order to survive. I mean, just imagine like an elephant. This is the biggest living land animal there is, and they require tons of food every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, like say
Though
if you
I
were, I mean, like the blue whale. Is it the
hmm,
biggest animal in the ocean? That one requires a
yeah,
lot of. That eats tons of krill or plankton.
yeah.
And
Though I
just
wonder what
imagine
a
if that.
McDonald would eat though.
Well, I mean, if Megalodon would still exist, it's possible. Like I said yesterday, there is a lot of a species that has been supposed to be extinct for millions of years, and suddenly being discovered to exist. Even had and we had only been explored like 4 to 5% of our own oceans. There is a lot more deep part of the ocean that we hadn't explored yet. Like, wouldn't that be good to say that some of the most uh, mythical creatures like Kraken supposed to exist? Kraken
Hmm,
itself could have been in, couldn't be not may not be in the actual species, but it may have been inspired by the giant squid. The giant
hmm.
squid is an actual species that do exist. Even though that Kraken has been known, in at least in the Scandinavia, for over 1,000 years. It's difficult to show you. Like, I mean, okay, if we go like back to America, that involves Canada and United States. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, a creature that's supposed to be from 7 to 10 feet tall, supposed to be a man-like ape creature walking around in this dense forest. And so far, no one has never been able to find any actual or physical proof that they exist, like bones, remains, or even any that like that. So people have saying that they those creatures do exist, and a lot of people have been saying like Megalodon could still exist, but there are some experts that say nope, there's no way possible they could even exist anymore because that type of big animal, that big shark, would require a constant amount of food every single day. That's just
Yeah.
impossible otherwise. Because we would have had noticed if there, because if the megalodon would target the great white shark as the main source of food, we would have been recognized. We would immediately be noticed any decline in the great shark's population around the ocean. People, if they would
Wait, but
notice that, I
shark
mean,
eating
okay,
slugs?
okay, just imagine if there, if they in the world's ocean, the great white shark, if they say the population is, if it's say 10 million body and of the, but if they're 10 between 10 and 12 million around in the late 1980s, and then suddenly now over four almost 50 years later, the population had declined from 12 at its peak to nearly to maybe as 4 or 5 million. Scientists around the world probably would start to wonder how in the world that even happened. How in like in a, over just over 50 years from 12 to just nearly barely 4 or 5 million. What happened? I mean, there is no other animal in the ocean that kills a great white because they are an apex predator. There is no other animal in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, the blue whale. The blue whale would be big enough to even swallow a great white shark. I mean, as an example, but they don't even do that. I mean, okay, I know that there are some Asian countries that actually hunting the great white and kill, just take off the top fin and toss them back in the ocean for the soup for food. That is not even
I
close.
see.
Okay, but that is okay. I mean, if humans had been killing the great white shark, that would not even, but that would have even been not even close enough. I mean, if they're there, if they were like in the say from 1980, the population was 12 million, and now 2023, it's only like say maybe 4 or 5. Humans had to be killing more than just than several thousand. Maybe they had to be killing tons of sharks in order to do that, and that's nearly impossible otherwise. And there is no other natural predator in the ocean that can kill a great shark. There is no other. So that would have been easily been something scientists put out in like how in the world if the great white had 12 million individuals all estimated in the 1980 and now only three to for between 4 or 5 million, scientists around the world probably would start asking themselves what is happening to this apex predator. They knew that there are no animals in the ocean that can kill off that one of the apex top predator in the ocean. There is no other animals that do that. I mean, other than maybe killer whales, but they don't even eat that. It could have been a lot of explanation, like say pollution of the ocean, overhunting of the bill, or humans overhunting the shark. But it wouldn't even be clear. There wouldn't even know enough for that, unless that there is another undiscovered animal in the ocean that's big enough, strong enough to even to kill a great white. It's possible that it. I mean, think about it. If a great white shark is one of the top predators in the ocean, there's suddenly a huge decline in their numbers over the 50 or 40 years, or maybe it's just 30 years. That's impossible to be otherwise. There had to be another
Yeah.
unknown species. I mean, we discover new species of animals in the ocean every single day, every year,
Can
and we
you
had discovered
can
new
you imagine
species.
if one day we discover a kraken?
I mean, if Kraken was able to exist, oh boy, yeah, it is hard to say exactly how many they can be, and the sources to
If
being the size of those, they're also being different. I mean, they're the size of the Kraken it can varies.
fish,
It goes to different sources. Like if you go to like the Norse mythology, if you go to Denmark, if you go to Iceland, or if you go to England, or even Norway, you go to those lands, those countries, to even just imagine. If you go to sort through asking people, and even from the historical records of sizes, though based on what people believe how big Kraken can be. Sure, those countries are connected. I mean, people can be talking even back in the Viking Age when people do believe Kraken exists. That's over 1,000 years ago, and even so,
Yeah.
so the size can be different. I mean, Iceland, they can say Kraken is can be as big as can be as could have been big as maybe as 100 feet long. Or if you went to Norway, those records of historical records of Kraken supposed to exist could have been maybe as like 50 feet. Or if you went to England or Scotland, they could have been telling the stories that Kraken could have been just maybe as 100 or maybe as 150 feet long. So the sources can be various. I mean, if you would have, okay, if Kraken supposed to be exist, even supposed to be found in Caribbean or West Indies, if they found a record of the supposed Kraken do exist, what if that they say, "Oh, we have seen the records of the supposed being over 300 feet long." So that is to go to say that, and there is this supposed um, this strange cryptid, which I did mention in the last I think in the last cryptid game show where they supposed Luska, half shark, half octopus. Supposed to be 60 feet long creature. And that's the thing. No one has never been able to take any photo or a video camera recording all that supposed creature exists. But that people have been talking
Hmm.
about for centuries. Like the same with Bigfoot. People have been talking that for over 200 years. And despite how many eyewitnesses, no one actually been proven out that that exists. Like Loch Ness, the same thing. People have been seeing Loch Ness for centuries.
I mean, hadn't
And
there been camera footage?
what?
Hadn't there been like camera footage of Bigfoot and the Loch
Yeah.
Ness?
Well, Bigfoot has a lot of photographs, recordings, video cameras, stuff, but most of the people have been, some experts had been declared them as debunked, fake, or too blurry to even to be make out. A lot of the thing is for like
Oh,
as Nessie, Loch Ness monster. Loch Ness monster has been seen around since the 500 ADs. But it wasn't until like the 1930s when it finally became well known, well famous creature. But despite the
yeah.
tons of photographs, despite the amount of photographs that's been taken, let's see, all of them have been declared as fakes. I can say one example. There is one photo of Nessie having supposed her head being up above the surface. That turned out to be a fake. Turns out to be a circus elephant's trunk above the surface. In a distance,
Hmm.
it can look like elephant, and some of them actually even use a small model of Nessie and standing a long distance to make sure they look to be real. And people have been using sonars and even have made submarines in that lake, but have found nothing. Nothing
Oh
at
wow.
all. They knew that they did that there is giant salamanders or catfish lives in that lake, but there has never been found any actual proof that Loch Ness even exists. Further Vince, but people believe Loch Ness monster is a dinosaur that's descendant that's even today. But there's only one slight problem with that. The dinosaurs supposed to died out 66 million years ago. The Loch Ness, the lake itself, was formed 10,000 years ago. So you do the math. It makes sense otherwise. Well, but then a scientist or some called an expert should suggest that at one point Loch Ness has been connected to the ocean at some point in its past. and that some of the dinosaurs or the Loch Ness monster or those sea serpents or Loch Ness, the long neck dinosaurs could have swimmed in from the ocean into the lake. And that is another thing that also should be noted because those dinosaurs they lived in the ocean in salt water, and Loch Ness is fresh water. So there had to be a huge adaptation for a sea creature, a salt water creature had to survive, adapt in a lake water that is fresh water, not salt. Just imagine that
Hmm.
for this species has been living in the ocean for several million years and adapted to an ocean of salt water, and then suddenly had to adapt in a freshwater. I mean, it's possible species can adapt to a whole new environment, but it doesn't take overnight. It can take millions of years. It's like, okay, you've been when you're saying when someone mentioned like the word kangaroo, you mean think those in Australia jumping around on the plains, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've heard of the one.
You never okay kangaroos. You've seen those, right, Kulu?
I don't think so.
You never seen
Oh
a
my!
kangaroo? Okay,
It's,
have you seen? Okay, Australia. You know that land, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen animals that jump around on its back, on its hind leg, and have a baby on its
Oh
pouch on its
yeah.
stomach?
No. Okay.
That's a
Yep. Now I
kangaroo.
get it.
Those are kangaroos. But I can tell this: as early as 2003, they discovered another species of kangaroos on Borneo living in trees,
Mhm.
and it's
Wait, what?
actually real. Yeah, they discovered a
On
species of
trees.
in trees. Yes, but they don't even look like those in Australia. And I can say this: Tasmanian devil, or that is actually a species, and they were not only lived in Australia. They lived in other part of the world, like say Papua New Guinea and Borneo. But those went extinct.
Yeah.
But those in Australia, they continue to
Though I've heard of
survive.
that. Though I kind
But
of
I can
heard of
say,
that rumor that some kangaroo are kind of like boxers or something like that.
uh, I wouldn't know
what?
for sure. But I can say this: there is
Like
actually
they fight like
even
boxers, except they jump on your feet. And
probably, but I can say this: there have been species of a kangaroo that's twice as big as a modern one.
Hmm.
There were okay.
Yeah.
Game guy Roy, have you heard of wombat?
I have.
They were at one point even a giant form of wombats.
Hmm.
And it's just saying, if a species on land can be great huge on land, then why can it be in creatures like some mythical creatures like say Bigfoot or Yeti can exist? I mean, a lot of scientists have been or have been went to like Himalaya in Tibet, have been visit some old temple or monasteries there, claim to have hand or a scalp from a Yeti. But those hands turned out to be human, and the skull turned out to be a goat head part from a goat. And
Wow.
they also found some DNA from an old supposed other remains, but that was not even from a human or a goat, but from a polar bear mixed with a brown bear. But that species were extinct several thousands of years ago. So it goes to show you,
Oh
despite
wow.
how much, yeah. So it goes to show you, despite how many different animals that supposed to be extinct could still are being around today. Tasmanian devil. It has been extinct since the late 1930s, but today people still claim has seen has seen it around. The same thing as for many other species, like say dinosaurs.
Hey,
Even today, people,
Swedish, did you see what I said in the private chat?
yeah. I mean, first, I mean, think of it. If dinosaurs are supposed to be extinct, if Loch Ness is supposed to be a dinosaur that is even modern form of dinosaur, this is not the only one. There have been reported some dinosaurs in Africa. So it is, and yeah, it's possible. If Kraken really did exist, then Lord Aciticus would really have a good 51st states. Dude. Oh my god.
I also asked you a question in the private chat earlier when we were talking about snakes.
Okay. I mean, Cody, you can stay if you want to. And I mean, considering of all this, considering of all things that's been be that we have seen, that we have been told of supposed monsters that exist or not. Like I don't know if there's any mythical creatures that lives in Indonesia. So supposed to be. I know at least only one Alswang, which is supposed to like have been kind of like a demon creature. Um, and Loch Ness, which is in Scotland. America, Canada has Bigfoot, and Canada you have several lake monsters. Sweden, we have at least only one lake monster supposed to exist, and we even had like trolls, gnomes supposed to exist, but people have seen those for centuries, but never been able to actually proving those. It's just
I mean,
insane.
technically, trolls are all over the internet now, so
Yeah, I mean, think about it.
you know, like those that
We have,
troll people.
yeah, I mean, okay, like there's another thing. Back in medieval times, people believed in dragons to exist,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember that.
especially in Europe, they were. I mean, the European dragons they were supposed to be a very much beast, monsters, killing people, burning everything else, like hoarding treasures. But where did they even
Yeah.
came from? Because if they didn't exist, but how did the even people back in the times even came up with that idea?
Um,
Well,
I
the
think
most
I heard.
logical answer. I mean, the most
Sorry.
logical answer is dinosaur bones.
Yeah.
And
So I
okay,
think I also heard that the Chinese dragon is different than the old European dragon.
yeah, they are. Chinese dragons are is seen as protector of mankind, and they are also seen as benefactors to protecting, helping, and good luck. That's another reason
Oh.
that yeah they don't. I know. Okay, don't take me wrong on this, but I'm only assuming that. But which also I think is a good chance that if you were in China and you're talking badly about the dragons, saying that those dragons are ugly, stupid, or anything, you would insult the people in China who have lived in those for centuries.
I
I mean,
mean,
if you're
I know
watching
the
your
dragon is one of the sacred animal of them.
yeah, but in European dragons, they are supposed to be like a mindless beast, monsters, just killing what they want to, burn everything else. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there any. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there is actually one supposed feathered dragon in Central America. This is actually
Oh.
is part of the yeah. This one is part of both Mayan and Aztec culture. How's it
Hmm.
pronounced? The name what's it? Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl. If I pronounce the
Wait,
name,
what?
is supposed yeah. The name of the Aztec and Mayan feathered dragon, supposed the main god is Quetzalcoatl. if I pronounced the name right. You can actually look that up though. Just look at Feather
You type it
Dragon.
in the chat so I can see.
Yeah, so he says that. Anyway, let's talk about something else. So game guy, what you been up to?
Nothing really.
Playing games.
Mhm.
That's what
We
he
just
What about
said
you,
that.
Roy? Roy,
I'm here. Don't worry.
what you been up to?
Wait, what?
I got back from the gym a couple, like an hour or
Roy
so
says,
ago,
"I'm here,
and
don't worry," and I said, "We're not."
Well, what about you, Cody? What you been up to?
Smoking weed.
Uh,
with
chapter
beer.
4. Um, well, Cody, I will say the next episode that's gonna be on Netflix is chapter 4. I may believe it's gonna be chapter 3 actually. I don't believe it's actually chapter 4. At least yet, though.
I was gonna say we're at chapter 4 already.
No, we already at chapter 3 actually. And the Make You Mark
Oh,
this Christmas special is they were that actually says chapter 3. So I do believe the next episode that's going to be released is chapter 3. But they did mention
cool.
there's going to be four. I mean, it has been mentioned it's going to be four feature movies. One has already been has the first one was released shortly after the first official movie. The one that was supposed
Hmm.
when the Earth ponies discovered their first power, and the second one is the Christmas
Yeah.
special, and the third, yeah, I can't say right now what type of when it is going to be involved. I don't think it is going to be right. I believe it's since they had its Christmas special only in this November already, so I may suspect the third movie might be sometimes maybe either either around Heartswarming, Valentine's Day, or maybe around summer,
You mean Hearts and
more
Hose Day?
probably, but I think it's more likely around summertime. In the fourth, the final movie, that one might be the second Christmas special movie, but I can't say it right now though because I only assuming at least that because I don't think they
Mhm.
were making I don't believe they were making release another feature movie since they released the second one in November. They wouldn't make no sense. Why would they make one movie and then making a second one and the third one and release it right after the second one? It makes no sense.
Mhm.
I believe that they will make the third one sometimes later on, but they will make a few episodes and then the movie and then the final and then they probably will make publish the last few the last episodes of the third season of before the first season apparently in the last movie. I mean, I believe it's going to be a total of 24 episodes of the season of G5, and but so far they only made 10 because they count the feature movies as um, one of those as an episode apparently. Having Spike return would be a quite amazing turnaround in a storyline. That's what's so different about it. Um, but having Hitch ship with one of the girls, right now it seems very much unlikely that's gonna happen. I mean, not to be saying this to be the sound
Well,
negative though, Cody, but but it seems unlikely none of those from the main five will be shipped. Even though it seems a lot of
Well,
hints in
technically, to be fair,
I
they
mean
did
think
drop a
about it.
few hints of shipping with
Yeah,
the
that's
main
true.
five.
True.
I mean, there was
True.
Sunny.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's a thing. I mean, there's a okay. There's a 50-50 chance that they could have been hints that there was something between them. Or the other thing is, the other half of the 50-50 is that it's nothing romantic at all. Maybe that it looks like to be any sort of romantic involvement between
Hmm.
and also like maybe how Sif is a character. We don't even know yet. And even that we can't say, I'm not trying to make it sound negative here, Cody. It just right now at the moment we don't know. But it's but it what doesn't mean but it doesn't mean that the possibility for any of those being end up shipping. And I mean, okay, just imagine this. What if, I mean, like a if, what if Hitch doesn't end up when any of the main five mares, but he end up with Misty? Just imagine that. It doesn't mean that not necessarily that he would end up with. I mean, not necessarily mean that he would end up with Sunny, Sif, or Pip. He could end up
Wait,
with Misty.
talking about that, have
He
you
could. I mean, he could end up with
talking about
Misty,
that?
or
You make
even, or he could even end up with Dahlia or Posey. There are a few other mares around his age in the maritime base that he could end up with. I'm not saying it is a good chance that he could end up with any of those. It's a piece of
well,
possibility that he could end up with one of those or none of them. I mean, who knows?
or all
Maybe
of
that
them.
they are. Now that would be weird, dude. I mean, what if this? What if that Sunny and Issy end up in shipping? I mean, what if that? What if that Sunny and Issy end up being a couple? And that would not be the first time as friends being dating. Just look at Lyra and Bonbon. Back in G4, they were always being portrayed as best friends, roommates. But later, they proposed to each other, and later they got married. So
Yeah.
assuming it's possibility that they could happen again. Because when that happened, I never even imagined. I never saw that even happen. It was even a possibility. And but then I would have, since they made on holiday with Aunt Lofty, Scootaloo's aunt, which one of them was biologically, another one was just well, full as a lesbian couple. So I mean that was way before the Lyra Bonbon's marriage. So I mean if they put
Yeah.
Scootaloo's aunt, if they made Scootaloo's aunts as a lesbian couple, so
Yeah.
so if that is true, if they made that happen, before then, there were no signs of any same gender relationship at all in G4. Not even from season 1 to season 9. Before then, there was nothing like it. Even there could have been a lot of hints between Rainbow Dash and Applejack. And it's just like,
That was
never been
unexpected.
yeah, that was never been, even though that hasn't even been supposed to be proven, but I don't know. And having Lyra and Bonbon as a married couple, that was completely something I never expected because this show was focused on younger girls, and having this shown into the audience, that young audience that is supposed to be okay. I mean, a lot of this happened now, and who knows? I mean, for example, what if that? For example, what if Waterfall's mother decides to date a woman. For example, and that he had, and okay, I mean, for example, if Waterfall's mom was dating a woman, and that he was still a young kid and saw this show and seeing how two mayors been dating, living together, and it's like my mom is dating a woman and they live together. It's fine. And so if the characters can do it, so can the real people do it in real life. I mean, it's an example. I mean, what if what if Game Guy and he would end up finding a guy and he dating him, married him, and they have kids. They are adopting kids or something like that. Or if I was into a guy and this happened, it's like that. I mean, if they could done that in a show that was focused based on little girls, why not have been doing it again in the G5? So if it's possible that maybe Sunny could end up one of her female friends, not necessarily with either Sip or Pip. It could have either been Dahlia, Posey, or any of those, even Misty. Oh, well, for at least for now, I can't see any of the main five with Opaline. I cannot see that happening as for a long time.
Definitely.
Not because it's impossible, but it just right now it's hard to tell for sure about that though. Queen Haven and Alpha Barrel. Now that is something I can definitely see as possible shipping. And in fact, that is actually an idea that I have been planning to do for quite a while, but haven't even been going that far yet. I mean, if that happens, if Lyra and Bonbon could end up marrying, who would not have been saying that Sunny or any of the other females or her friends could end up being dating another mayor? Well, except for one exception. Pip can't date Sip because sisters. That would be weird. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, that
other
would be
than
like
that,
accommodating Brittany. Well,
mhm.
people
I
don't
mean,
have a
okay,
few
how about
does
this?
ship that.
Okay, I can say, okay, how about this? Pip marries Izzy, Sunny with Sip. I mean,
Well,
that would mean impossible. And if they
yeah.
want to have a child, and if they want to have a child, there's only one they can ask for: Hitch. They can always ask Hitch for help or even adopt. Okay. There's like since Cody said that hoping a Spike would return in G5. How about this idea? There's some people have made theories that what if Sparky is actually Spike's son or grandson? So if there was possibility, what if that Spike has been looking for the missing egg and he find it in Mirtime Bay and that Sparky has been raised by Hitch. And that meaning that he can't take Sparky with him back to um, the home country where the dragons live right now. That would have been almost heartbreaking. After all, since Sparky had been around Hitch ever since he was hatched, and he's seeing him as a father, separate them would be devastating effect. And I mean, he might move on from it, but Sparky, I cannot even imagine how it's like being separated from Hitch. I mean, if we take him back, if we take us back to other dragons, Sparky may refuse to even eat. I mean, if that happens, it's it's heartbreaking to seeing that Sparky would refuse to eat, and that happens more than anyone knows. What if? What if Spike and Sparky are related, and that Spike is looking for the egg and finds out that Sparky has been found, hatched, and been taking care of a pony, and he feels a connection based on that Twilight Ray was raising Spike along with her parents, and her brother. And even Spike was even though Spike's shining armor did say that he saw Spike as a younger brother, not a nephew. And we never saw or never heard that Twilight never saw uh, Spike as her son. But they do kind of have this like a mother-son relationship or big sister younger brother relationship.
Oh no, beats me. By the way, how long's the stream gonna be?
About around 2 hours. So that only got marked. It passed the 2 hours mark. So
I have to go eat.
yeah, I'd probably say, Kuba, when you get back, the stream will be more likely be over.
All right. Thanks for warning me.
The
And
media
see
spin over.
you next.
Question: will it be Super Millionaire after this?
Not sure.
Well, we gotta eat too. That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, can always do the Super Millionaire tomorrow or something. I don't know. Well, man, getting tired again. Oh my god. Ow. Oh. Oh, that hurts. Stretch too much. Ooh. Well, Cody, it's possible that Spike and Rarity were married, but off screen. And maybe he did marry. Maybe Spike did marry Rarity sometime in G4. And then after she passed away, maybe he tried to find someone else. Maybe, but it's possible that he went back. Maybe he left Equestria at the time when the magic disappeared. Maybe he felt that the dragons will be dangerous, wouldn't be welcome back. I mean, think about it. Would it be possible that the dragons could have been seen as a suspect to why the magic is, boom, gone? I mean, not surprising. I mean, the point is they blame each other for responsible for magic to be just poof, gone. So not surprising. Well, that should probably end here. Has already been 2 hours and 4 minutes. Well, everyone, this has been a lot of discussions. More than usual. Yeah, see you next stream though, Cody. That will be like next week. Since my resets on the next Wednesday. So yeah, well, this has been fun to be hanging around with this maniacs.
Hey,
Then-
you
then I
invited
refer-
us.
Well, I refer more to Cody and the Takubo. He is the more maniac than anyone else. Well, this has been fun. See you next time, everyone. This is
See
Diablo
ya.
signing off. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Oh, there goes Malachi.